الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. We continue the explanation of the three fundamental principles, and the last thing we spoke about was the matter of disassociating and denouncing the Taghut, and what does the term Taghut means, and the five categories of Taghuts. And the Shaykh Rahimahullah said that the evidence to disassociate from Taghut, and we know the Taghut is everything that transcends the limit and the boundaries which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has set for the creation to follow. He said that the evidence, the Shaykh Rahimahullah said that the evidence for this is in Surah Al-Baqarah 256. قال الله تعالى لا إكراه في الدين قد تبين الرشد من الغي فمن يكفر بالطاغوت ويؤمن بالله فقد استمسك بالعروة الوثقى لا انفصام لها والله سميع عليم. There is no compulsion in religion. Verily the right path has become distinct from the wrong path. That's why there is no compulsion. There is no compulsion in religion. Verily the right path has become distinct from the wrong path. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, what means whoever disbelieves in Taghut, all false deities and etc., as we discussed recently, and believes in Allah, then he has grasped the most trustworthy handhold that will never break. So there is no compulsion upon people to enter the religion. There is no compulsion upon people to enter the religion, since its proofs are clear signs, and its clear signs are manifest. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says after this, قَدْ تَبَيَّنَ الرُّشْدُ مِنَ الْغَيِّ. Verily the right path has become distinct from the wrong path. So this is talking about people entering into Islam. There is no compulsion upon them to enter the deen. No one is compelled. No one is compelled to enter Islam, because the entrance in Islam must be based upon conviction, and that no one is to be compelled upon. This is not possible. Why? Because only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who can change the hearts, and we don't possess the hearts. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who runs the affairs of everything. However, we invite people to Islam, and we urge them, and we incite them, and we make Islam appealing to them. All of this is fine. We also make jihad in Allah's cause against those who commit disbelief. Why? Because in order to spread Islam and give the opportunity for whoever wants to learn about it, to have the opportunity by removing the barriers that can stand between Islam and the people. However, the guidance itself that changes the heart is in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and no one is compelled upon or no compulsion upon people to enter the deen. Why? We said because its proofs and clear signs are manifest. Also, this verse is abused by some Muslims when they are ordered to make salah, when they are commanded to give zakah, when they fulfill the conditions, when they are called to fast Ramadan, when they are not fasting, you know what they say? You tell me. You tell me. Many of them respond to you and tell you what? They say what? I'm asking you. They say no compulsion in religion. That's right. Is this the correct usage of this verse? Is this correct for them to say? No. Why? Because this applies to what? This applies upon whom? Upon the non-Muslim to enter Islam. No compulsion upon him. Is that clear? And this is a very important benefit. This is concerning the ones who are not Muslims. You understand? With respect to the Salah, Zakah, these are commands from Allah and people must obey. They must follow. Is that clear? And that's now also those who go at length in order to make excuses for people regarding this verse, as if there is something wrong in this verse and it is left for people to correct it. Don't you see them doing this? They go left, right and stretch the verse and so forth. This is self-defeat. The answer is in the verse. The answer is in the verse. Where is the answer? Where is the answer? Try to look at it and tell me. Look at the verse and tell me from what it means. Yes? Yes, that's it. That's it. Verily, the right path has become distinct from the wrong path. So Islam, and all praise is due to Allah, nothing in Islam that entails compulsion. All of it is desired. All of it is desired. While disbelief and shirk, all of it is evil and disliked. So the thing has been made clear between this Islam and its clarity and its goodness and its right path, and that of the opposite is kufr, disbelief and shirk. And the person who uses his intellect in a sound way and checks the truth and falsehood, and his intention is to find the truth, and his intention is free from following desires, then, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala stated, وَالَّذِينَ جَاهَدُوا فِينَا لَنَهْدِيَنَّهُمْ سُبُلَنَا. And those who strive in our way, we will guide them to our paths, and therefore they will reach the truth without compulsion. In this verse, the point of evidence, this association from Taghut in all of its forms and belief in Allah, and this Taghut here is comprehensive regarding that in worship or in following or in obedience, as detailed previously, underline, as detailed previously. Question: why did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala introduce the kufr, disbelief in Taghut before mentioning al-Iman in the text? The answer is because the Iman, faith in Allah, yes, is of no benefit until there is dissociation from Taghut. Naam. So the one who believes in Allah and does not disassociate himself from Taghut, then his faith is of no benefit to him. So the one who says, I am a believer, and he makes salah, fasts Ramadan, gives zakah, goes to Hajj, makes acts of obedience, but does not disassociate himself from shirk, nor from the mushriks, this is not a Muslim, because in this case he did not denounce the Taghut, and one must believe it's falsehood, and so one should keep away from all forms of Taghut. Then the Shaykh rahimahullah, the author, said that this disassociation from kufr and in all of its forms and affirmation of faith, he said, وَهَذَا هُوَ مَعْنَى لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ وَهَذَا هُوَ مَعْنَى لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ, and this is the meaning of La ilaha illallah. None has the right to be worshipped except Allah. And in the hadith, the author reminds us of the hadith, رأس الأمر الإسلام وعموده الصلاة وذروة سنامه الجهاد في سبيل الله. The head of the affair is al-Islam, and its supporting pillar is the prayer, and its highest part is jihad in Allah's cause. The author rahimahullah intended to use this hadith to prove that everything has a head, and the head of the affair that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam came with is al-Islam. And Islam means submission to Allah in Tawheed and yielding to Him in obedience and ridding oneself from shirk and its people. This is the head of the matter. The Shahadatan are the head of Islam because they are the foundation of Islam. No one can be admitted to Islam unless he attests by utterance and by knowledge and action and conviction that there is no true God worthy of worship except Allah, and that Muhammad is Allah's slave and messenger. No one can be a Muslim or enter Islam without this. So he gave the example of the deen as the body that has a head, and it has a supporting pillar, and it has a high part. If the head is taken off, or if there is no head, then there is no continuity of living. similarly the situation without Tawheed. There is no deen. And the pillar, the supporting pillar, is the Salah. That is because it cannot stand without it. Therefore, upon the most correct saying, one who abandons the prayer is an unbeliever and is not within Islam. And in the hadith that وَذَرْوَةُ سَنَامِهِ وَذِرْوَةُ سَنَامِهِ الْجِهَادُ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ, its highest and most perfect part is jihad, fought in Allah's cause, not for worldly gain or political ambitions and so forth. This is because when a person has rectified himself, he tries to rectify others by jihad in Allah's cause, in order for Islam to be established and it reaches people and impediments removed, and so that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's word is the highest. Whoever fights in order that Allah's word is the highest, then he is fighting in Allah's cause. And it is the highest part, since through it Islam is given ascendancy over everything else, prevalence. However, the jihad cannot be except when there is strong faith and ability. Strong faith and ability. Then the author rahimahullah ended his book by saying, Wallahu a'lam wa sallallahu ala Muhammadin wa alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. He ended his book by saying, and Allah knows best, and may Allah extol and send blessings of peace upon Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his true followers and his companions. Shaykh al-Islam Muhammad bin Abdul Wahhab al-Tamimi rahimahullah closed his treatise by referring knowledge back to Allah, the mighty and majestic, and by supplicating that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala extol and send blessings of peace upon his prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So this brings the end to the discussion on the three principles, and we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Most High, that He makes this a benefit for me and for everyone who listened to its discussion over the time it took, and for those who may listen to it in the future, and that He subhanahu wa ta'ala grant the best reward to its author and to the scholars who gave this book what it deserves from the proper attention and worked to explain it further and benefit the ummah from it, including our Shaykh Muhammad bin Salih al-Uthaymeen rahimahullah, who had a discussion on that, and which we used as one of our references. And from them is a Shaykh Abdul Aziz bin Baz rahimahullah, who also had a discussion on this classical book, and also recently a Shaykh Salih al-Fawzan, may Allah preserve him and protect him. And from them also, which we took as reference, was a Shaykh Abdullah al-Fawzan, may Allah preserve him as well, May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gathers us and them in the final domain where He bestows honor. Indeed, He is the generous, the beneficent bestower, and all praise is for Allah, Lord of all creation. And may Allah salah and salam be upon our Prophet Muhammad, his true followers and his companions. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, wassalatu wassalamu ala nabiyyina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. And jazakumullah khair, all of you who attended these classes.